Good morning and welcome along to lesson 73. So let's take a quiet moment to land and arrive fully into this day and become present to the love that we are. So gently close your eyes down and drop your awareness to your sacred, holy heart. Maybe taking your hands onto your heart, left hand on the heart, right hand on top. And just feeling into your heart this morning. Perhaps you can feel your heart beating. Notice your next incoming breath, be present to it. And notice your outgoing breath. Notice the sensation of the hands rested on your heart. And then remaining gathered into your heart center. And we put our attention here, chi flows here, so we gather ourselves in to our heart. And it is from this place that we offer our prayer today. So we begin this day in gratitude. We open our hearts and we surrender to love. We ask love to lead the way through the minutes and the hours of this new day. We welcome joy, fun, and abundant prosperity. We recognize that all encounters are wholesome and that all experiences can be met with a peaceful heart that is anchored in the truth, that we are one, we are love, we are free, and we release these words, and so we let it be. Okay, we are on lesson 73, and lesson 73 is I will there be light. I will there be light. So, magical lesson this. Today, we are considering the will you share with God, with Source, with love. This is not the same as the ego's idle wishes, out of which darkness and nothingness arise. So remember, the ego's wishes are very fear-based. The will you share with God has all the power of creation in it. The ego's idle wishes are unshared and therefore have no power at all. Its wishes are not idle in the sense that they make a world of illusions in which your belief can be very strong. But they are idle indeed in terms of creation. They make nothing that is real. So what they do is exaggerate and exacerbate what is not real. And what we want to do is create more of what is real, which we know is love. Idle wishes and grievances are partners or co-makers in picturing the world you see. The wishes of the ego gave rise to it. Remember, form follows consciousness. And the ego's need for grievances, which are necessary to maintain it, peoples it with figures that seem to attack you or call for righteous judgment. Now, I am one that can truly own a sense of righteousness. And I grew up with a very strong sense of I was right and my way was right and it was my way or the highway. And if you didn't fit into my mold of how you should be, then skedaddle. I've learned a lot. So, we often have that sense of right or wrong doing. And, Rumi tells us that where love meets us is out beyond all right and wrongdoing. So these figures become the middlemen the ego employs to traffic in grievances. And remember, the ego is very much invested in separation. But also remember, the ego doesn't really actually exist. It's a set of beliefs You know, it's a core belief system that we have grown up with, that we've been fed and we have taken on, and then we begin to feed our children. It's how society operates. So this isn't about assigning blame to yourself or to anybody else, but it's about noticing. So they stand between your awareness and the people's or anybody else's reality. So beholding them, you do not know anyone else or yourself. So beholding them, so beholding the grievances, you don't get to know anybody or your true self because they're in the way. You know, they're like a block. Your will is lost to you in this strange bartering in which guilt is traded back and forth and grievances increase with each exchange. Can such a world have been created by the will the child of God shares with his creator? Did God create disaster for their child? Creation is the will of both together. Would God create a world that kills itself? In truth, wouldn't you be mad? And Source is not mad. Today, we will try once more to reach the world that is in accordance with your will. The light is in it because it does not oppose the will of God, or the will of Source, or the will of love. It is not heaven, but the light of heaven shines on it. Darkness has vanished, and the ego's idle wishes have been withdrawn. Yet the light that shines upon this world reflects your will, and so it must be in you, and that we will look for it. Your picture of the world can only mirror what is within. So what we see outside is what's inside us. Always remember that. The source of neither light nor darkness can be found without, so out there. Grievances darken your mind, and you look out on a darkened world. Forgiveness lifts the darkness, reasserts your will, and lets you look upon a world of light. We have repeatedly emphasized that the barrier of grievances is easily passed and cannot stand between you and your salvation. The reason is simple. Do you really want to be in hell, or do you really want to weep and suffer and die? And you know, I was talking this morning on another lesson, and I was speaking about the fact that when we say, you know, I can never forgive them for that, I can never let that go, you know, I can never be in the same room as that person again. Like, we're literally locking ourselves in. When you say you can never forgive somebody, you've got a key in your hand and you're locking yourself into prison. You're in prison. Imprisonment. You get my drift. So literally by, you know, finding forgiveness, plus we lock ourselves in other ways when we hold things against ourselves. You know, when we've got these sharp-edged toys that we play with and we beat ourselves up, and we're always at the ready to blame ourselves. You know, so forgiveness, or forget the ego's arguments which seek to prove that all this is really heaven. You know it is not. You cannot want this for yourself. There is a point beyond which illusions cannot go. Suffering is not happiness, and it is happiness that you really want. Such is your will in truth, and so salvation is your will as well. You want to succeed in what we are trying to do today. We undertake it with your blessing and your glad accord. We will succeed today if you remember that you want salvation for yourself. Like, you want freedom, you want ease, you want peace. You want to accept God's plan or love's plan because you share in it. You have no will that can really oppose it, and you do not want to do so. In truth, you do not want to do so. Salvation is for you, and above all else, you want the freedom to remember who you really are. Today it is the ego that stands powerless before your will. Your will is free, and nothing can prevail against it. I'm going to say that again. Your will is free, and no thing can prevail against it. Therefore, we undertake the exercises for today in happy confidence, certain that we will find what it is your will to find. And remember that it is your will to remember. Like you're choosing this. Today we're going to choose the light and choose to be the light that we are and choose to know the light that we are. Today, let your will be done and end forever the insane belief that it is hell in place of heaven that you choose. We will begin our longer practice periods with the recognition that God's plan for salvation, and only this, is wholly in accord with your will. It is not the purpose of an alien power thrust upon you unwillingly. It is the one purpose here which you and your divine are in perfect accord. You will succeed today, the time appointed for the release for the child of God from hell and from all idle wishes. This is the time appointed. God's will is now restored to your awareness. God is willing this very day to look upon the light in all and be saved. After reminding yourself of this and determining to keep your will clearly in mind, tell yourself with gentle firmness and quiet certainty, I will there be light. Let me behold the light that reflects God's will and mine. I will there be light. Let me behold the light that reflects the divine's will and mine. Then let your will assert itself, joined with the power of God and united with yourself. For the rest of the practice period under their guidance, join with them as they lead the way. In the shorter practice periods, again, make a declaration of what you really want and say, I will there be light. Darkness is not my will. This should be repeated several times an hour. And it is important, however, to apply today's idea in this form immediately. It is important, however, to apply today's idea in this form immediately you are tempted to hold a grievance of any kind. So the minute you feel anything rise in you, apply the idea. This will help you let your grievances go instead of cherishing them and hiding them in the darkness. I don't know if you've ever heard the expression that we're only as sick as our secrets. And that is when we hide things in the darkness. So this invitation invites us to bring everything to be the light as we become the light as well. So I will there be light. Let me behold the light that reflects God's will and mine, or love's will and mine. And that's what we're going into our meditation practice with. I will there be light. To know ourselves as the light. So I invite you to close your eyes down and drop in. I will there be light. And a reminder, I will there be light. Darkness is not my will. I will there be light. Darkness is not my will. And gently opening your eyes. And so today, going around with eyes wide open, heart wide open, noticing when you want to close your heart or you want to shut down to anything or not see it fully, experience it fully. being curious and seeing, can you hold light in those situations, in those places? Can you stay open when you want to close? Can you see things when you want to bury them? Get curious, get interested in how you operate in the world, and keep inviting yourself to recognize the light that you are. From my heart to yours, a great day.